Hello, my name is Harvey. Welcome to my shop. Today, I'm just going over a few new things I've added in this last week, mainly this Milwaukee Packout wall. I'm not the type of individual that normally gets all caught up in the latest and greatest of tool lines or whatever, but in this case, this made sense. I had some beach out. I was going to build everything out of beach to store all my charging equipment and my batteries and my Milwaukee tools. And then I got thinking about it that there's really not that many Milwaukee tools that I use. I currently have the little router that I use, and I have the M12 impact and the screwdriver. And the only other thing that I could see that I would probably use would be, I'm really thinking about, right now I'm borrowing the Ryobi from one of my sons, nailer, but I was thinking about possibly getting the M12 brad nailer and the pin nailer as well. And this here would handle all the batteries and everything. So basically what it is you got the wall plate, then you have this holder, which is all I really needed to hold the impact and also the drill, which is the only two things I would ever use, and I really wouldn't need that many of them. I see some people have a whole bunch of them, and I know I do too, but I'm trying to, I have a whole bunch of little drills I bought from like Craftsman. I've had some Ryobis over the years. I even had some Cobalts, and you tend to collect those things. But the thing is right now all my extra drills and stuff are sitting on my joiner collecting dust because I really only use the two. So I'm going through and starting to streamline the shop because I have limited space, and I'm trying to just maximize it. I don't want a whole bunch of tools just for sake of having a whole bunch of tools. I want all the tools to serve a purpose. I mean, I'm building a tool till to hold all my hand tools and stuff like that. Well, this made sense because, I want to get down to one battery source, which will be the Milwaukee. Not that I like or dislike any of the others. They all serve a purpose, but the Milwaukee has this here, and this just makes sense. And this will be the only thing in Milwaukee that I have. It will be here, and then I'm thinking about instead of using this for the combination plane, I'll find some other place to put the combination plane, maybe on the other end. But what I was thinking in the process is the M12 brad nailer will fit in here along with the pin nailer as well, and it kind of keeps everything in a general location. And I can have my my router there as well, so everything will have a place. It'll fit the workflow really well, and it'll be in this area here. But as things go, things do change, and this may change as well. But for time being, this is what I have. Like I said, it's one wall plate. It's this piece right here which holds both the impact and the drill. There's a little shelf back here. Right now I'm just using it to put my tape measure in. It's a good place for it. On top, it allows you to have the charger, and I do have the 2 battery chargers, so I can do the M12s here, which I have a rack over here, and I figure if I need more than 4 batteries, then there's something wrong. And again, this here holds the 12 volt, the M18 batteries, which the router has. And I think that's probably the only thing I'm going to have. But if it gets real crazy in the routing, maybe I have more. But I have slots for 4 of those as well. And this one charger takes care of both the 18 and the M12 as well. And that's a good little place for it. Has a little back here, has a place for the cord to go down. It fishes down here and goes into this outlet that I put in here from a different time, or a different video. But the only thing when putting this up was I had to get some little fender washers to put the screws in, because I put these screws in. I use these what I call little pigtails. They're little white things that You drill a little pilot hole, you screw it in, and it takes each one of them can hold like, 50 pounds. So this thing's not coming off the wall. I could probably climb on it and hold my big fat butt, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to be patching drywall just in case. I think there's like two of these on this side that are actually in stud. The rest of it's in sheetrock, but it holds on there just fine. But I figured this here would be a nice little video for the day. Now, things that I see a lot of these videos that people put out, and they're all big into the new tools and everything else. There's a lot of brand names that get thrown out there, like Fez Tool, Makita, and all this. I never have really been a loyalist, so to speak, to a tool company. Some people, Milwaukee, or DeWalt, that's all they get. And they get tons and tons of tools and spend thousands of dollars doing it. I will only buy it if it makes sense for me. Not because, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid of the Milwaukee flavor at this point, or the DeWalt flavor of Kool-Aid. But there are some other brands that have particular tools that I have thought about and I've looked into that I want to get. I never thought, coming from the old school of, woodworking, when I was growing up, you had table saws, you had the floor tool. We didn't have any of these things like the track saws and stuff like that. But when I was breaking down the plywood for the cabinets, I began to see the benefit of having something like a track saw. And I've looked at all the different track saws, and the one that seems to stick out to me to be one of the better ones is the Fez tool. Now, in Fez tool, I see everybody have all these retainers and everything. Their shop's just Fez tool this, Fez tool that. The only thing there's a couple tools. One would be, I can see the domino being a benefit, and I probably will get one of those at some point. But the track saw for breaking down plywood, I definitely can see the benefit of that, and I probably will get the track saw from Fez Tool and possibly the domino. But that's probably about it. I do like the look of the hoses and the feel of the hoses that Fez Tool does have. But maybe even a dust collector just so I can have that to extract dust. But that's about all I can see having a Fez tool. Makita, the only thing I like personally of the Makita, and I plan to get eventually to replace my Cobalt chop saw, is the Makita has the 10-inch. They have a 12-inch in the same thing, but 10-inch should be sufficient. The miter saw is because it takes up a smaller space, and you can actually put it on a 2-foot countertop, and it'll fit and work and doesn't stick out and take out a lot. Like my Cobalt, it takes up about this much room, and it's always getting in the way that way. Usually I have to crank it over to the side just to keep so I'm not hitting my hip on it when I pass by it. But I'm thinking about buying a Makita miter stations, saw. And I'm probably have it over on this wall. How I'm going to do that, that'll evolve. Like I said, everything in here is evolving. Like I said in the last video, some of the things I thought, hey, I wanted to do over here in this corner here, I thought about, I wanted to do have a place to put a CNC. Honestly, I don't see myself ever getting a CNC because it's just not something I'm really all that interested in. Yeah, they have benefits. You can do tools, but I'm not looking to go into the manufacturing process. Too late in life for me for that. I just want to enjoy woodworking and share it with you guys, but the CNC really doesn't have any value to me. So that's going to be changing. I'll probably, be going to regular cabinet over here and some type of wood storage, because it's becoming more and more evident to me that, like if you're looking over here in this area over here, you can see I got my beech, I got my walnut, I've got my bird's eye maple here, of course my clamps and everything else here, which clamp rack's probably going to be the next thing that I build. But it's taking up this corner of the shop, and those are things that are going to seem like they're becoming more and more pressing. And things I don't need is like a CNC machine. Even a small one would take up a big hunk of space here. And I don't think the cost or the value to the shop would be worth it. So that's something that's going to change. But again, we'll get into that later. I don't want to go too long this morning, but I just wanted to show this Packout wall, how it's going to be integrated here. One thing I did do, I ordered in some tung oil, some beeswax, and we're still waiting on my linseed oil to get in so I can mix up my finish. And probably once it gets in next week, I'm going to start finishing the cases on the drawer system and the tool till, and start getting that finished, because all the cherry pieces are done. And the only reason I wasn't finishing them is because the cherry tends to darken over time, and I did not want to have mismatched pieces on cherry. Anything I'm adding in anymore will more than likely be just black walnut pieces, and that's not going to make much difference if I finish those at a later date. So that's something that'll be coming up as well. So until next time, stay safe.